Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, yeah. You know, say ready for this. You know I have patience.
Peace, family. Thank you again for coming back to the Grand Rising Collective podcast. This is one of your co-hosts, Kyle Dixon, along with my other co-host, Kayode Bentley, and we have a lot in store for you. Now, I know you haven't seen both of us in a while, and there's a reason for that. Now, you've seen me or you've seen Kayode, but we're still doing what we do. We're still loving what we do and putting as much energy and time into giving you quality material, a quality show with solutions, right? So, just to introduce myself again, my name is Kyle Dixon, one of the hosts of Grand Rise Collective. I've been an educator, just a little background, educator for 20 years. I had a production company, besides my Filmworks, that I co-found and co-own. And again, with my perspective on things, my experiences, my skill set, as far as those two things, being in media, being in education, I have a lot to share and want to be able to share some of those things with you all with our platform. Now, Grand Rise Collective is a term of endearment coming from that. Grand Rising meaning like good morning. So it's a constant reminder for us to be at our best, be excellent at the start of the day, right? So grand rising, rise to the occasion. And what? Be grand at what you do. Be great at what you do. Okay? Because now it's going to be sunny and roses and everything's going to be perfect. You're going to have some challenges and obstacles, and it's best to approach it with a more positive attitude, but also have the skills and things that you need in order to get through, and get past those tough times. All right? So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Kayode Bentley. Take it away, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. As you can tell, I'm wearing the, what you call the mask. That's a government mandate, and I'm not sure if y'all can hear my voice, but I just wanted to put that out there as emphasis as to, what's going on. Without further ado, let me just introduce myself, like my brother Kyle has. My name is Kayode Bentley. I'm founded an organization called 14 Teaching Things to Think, whose mission is to help inner city youth identify what they do naturally, so that way they can use their inherent skill set. And what I mean identify what they do naturally, meaning their inherent skill set, so they can use that, further their education, higher education, get a job, establish a career, and ultimately start a business if they choose to. That's my hat as an entrepreneur for these Teaching Things to Think. I'm also a professor at Fordham University, where I teach entrepreneurship in the field of social justice, where I share the same knowledge with those pursuing their master's and doctorate degrees, but pretty much master's degrees. The other hat that I wear is sitting on the advisory board of LIU in the same capacity, where I have access to students who are pursuing a career in nonprofit, again, helping them help inner city youth identify what they do naturally, to, I guess, excel in education, to hopefully establish a career and start a business. So those are the hats I wear. I think it's important that you understand who's talking to you, as well as who you're listening to. So that's, my end to that. Cal, you got to jump right in, or anything you want to add before I jump in?
No, just we've been ready, family. I mean, COVID happening, everything's that's still going on. We're ready to get to it. We're ready. We have some things to definitely talk about and share with you.
All right, so I'm gonna jump right in. I want to thank all of you who have supported us. I also want to take my hat off to Kyle Dixon. This brother has been locking it down in my absence as a co-host, and I can't thank him enough. I'm honored because you got to hear why I respect and admire this man so much. Every time I talk to him, he educates me. He helps me in a more logical, how can I say, linear format. And it's a balance that we have. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to see him on his grind, to see him on the Grand Rising Collective, dropping knowledge like you do on the topic so relevant and so important to us as a community, quote unquote. So I'm honored for that, and I can't say it enough. I'm the guy who was holding it down in my absence. I'm back. I'm here, and this leads me into the topic that I want to talk about. The reason for my absence, I'm going to try and be real brief, is because I tend to work too much, and Kyle and I spoke about this over the past week and a half, to the extent where I burn out. Right, so I burn out, and I needed, as we all do and should, take a break from technology. I needed to, in other words, unplug, so that way I can feed my mental health. And then I'm grateful to God that I wasn't hospitalized. I don't have no COVID. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just I needed to take a break from everything that was going on. As a part of that, as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of new developments that come up. So my role in my partnership, particularly the Boys and Girls Club, has me in a higher role now, so to speak. So now it's a higher role, and it's a role that gives me more leverage to provide inner city youth with what I call now a new program that my organization developed, and it's called the Youth Excel Pipeline. So the Youth Excel Pipeline works as you have a lot of inner city youth that the populace don't know, that can't even handle a 4-year college. They're not ready for it. They're not acclimated to it, in so many multiple capacities, but also in terms of financial. So this pipeline that I'm developing is to create a bridge for inner city youth to start off in what's called community colleges, 2-year colleges, which are local, to help them familiarize themselves with the higher education process as well as the environment, so that way they are more prepared and more equipped to handle a 4-year college. So that's part of what I'm going to leverage my role with the partnerships that I'm in, and in part the Boys and Girls Club. So with that new development coming in, added a whole another, how can I say, set of projects, tasks, timelines that I had to put in. So I definitely needed to take a break from work to recollect my mind, to rest, to relax, and institute some, how can I say, structure or routines that will make rest a top priority. Downtime a top priority, because that wasn't a top priority. I'm always busy. I'm always working. Work always takes time. But this is going to tie me into the next topic I want to talk about. And I promised Kyle I would be brief, and I'm really trying to focus on that. We have to make rest a top priority. And that means, if you're not doing this already, at least getting at least 5 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, I'm guilty of that myself. I have been getting 3 to 4 hours prior to making it a top priority. And
over how long of a period? Over how long of a period, so the family can know?
Over, I would say over a period, I was getting 3 to 4 hours sleep on average over a period of probably 4 to 5 years.
Okay. See?
4 to 5 years, Cal. 4 to 5 years. And by the grace of God, it didn't damage me too much, because I don't smoke, I don't drink regularly, I don't do drugs. So because, and I drink water. Prior to this, over the course of years, I drink a lot of juice. I was drinking a lot, but no sodas. None of that carbonated liquid. None of that fast food at a minimum. A lot of the food that I cook, I get like baked chicken, rice, vegetables. So even though I wasn't getting my rest, and I take ownership of that and I own it, because I had those other things, my lifestyle was covered in those other areas healthy, the lack of rest wasn't a detriment to me. But it still affected me to the point where I burnt out, and I burnt out periodically over the years. So now I finally got it into my thick head that in order for me to stay at my optimum and to prevent burning out, it's imperative that I incorporate rest as a top priority. It's of the utmost importance, so that way I can remain consistent in the goals and the projects and the accomplishments that I want to accomplish, which we all want to do, and we don't want years passing us by and we're wondering where the year go and we didn't accomplish anything. So in order for me to do that, it's very important that I get my rest. So before I hand it back over to Kyle, because I know I'm talking too long on this anyway.
No, brother.
I got you. One of the things that part of what helped me to rest is the power of meditation. So I shared with Kyle how what I've been able to incorporate over the quarantine and during this COVID period where we're all stuck in the house and we're not allowed to go out. You know, it can be challenging and insane. What'll help you stay focused and utilize this time in its most effectiveness, if I'm using that term correctly, is meditation. I think meditation is very important. And then, Kyle, I want to hand it over to you, your feedback on it. Now, from my personal experience, you know, I used to think meditation as some guy or therapist or what have you, you know, something in your face that's rocking back and forth, saying you're getting very sleepy, hypnosis. Meditation was kind of like hypnosis and stuff, but just meditation in itself, I didn't see very effective. I was like, that's not gonna help me. I don't see how that works. I tried breathing exercise. I don't see how that works. So what I found, and if you're interested and you want to know about it, there are on YouTube meditation video clips that if you find, you have to be acutely aware that not all meditation is right. So you have to find a meditation that works for you. And Kyle and I talked about this in regards to therapy, a therapist. Not all therapists are for everybody. Yes. So you have to find a therapist that you feel comfortable that relates to you. So it's the same thing in regards to meditation. You have to find a certain meditation that speaks to you that will help you. And the meditation that I use that speaks to me is called the pineal gland. And the pineal gland opening your third eye. And it's the pineal gland. It deals with your melatonin and serotonin. It deals with your peptides, nitric oxides, and peptides in your body with a natural, with a natural wave in your head. And I'm telling you, it works. It'll calm you down. It'll take away that anxiety that you have. It really does wonders, and it helps you focus. So even though I was still struggling with getting my rest, that in and of itself, the melatonin and serotonin works with your body where it calms you down enough where you actually fall asleep without eating any drugs, without needing any over-the-counter medicine, without needing any alcohol or anything. It's a natural remedy or process for your body. It works naturally, like you wouldn't believe. So that's part of what I used over this break that I've been taking, and actually it led me to it because I was doing that since March. It's because I was consistent with it. It gave me the wherewithal to take a conscious break without actually having my body physically break down. So I was able to, on my own, unplug, thanks to the meditation that I got, which led me on that healthy path. So I just want to emphasize and share that with you all. Meditation is important. If you have any questions, we're here. Ask us. Ask me. I'll be glad to share it with you and help you and guide you along the process as Kyle as well. So definitely during the time of COVID, I implore you to look into meditation to help calm you down and utilize this time wisely. One other point, Kyle, before I hand it over, I'm going to touch on this real quick.
Okay.
Is
dropping jewels, family, dropping jewels. He's
in the flow.
In the flow.
There's a second wave of COVID that's coming. and it's already here.
Yeah.
I've already heard that in Europe, they've already gotten that second wave. So now there's an uptick in people who have been affected with COVID. So in preparation for that, as I mentioned before, meditation, use your mask, cover your mouth, cover your nose. You never know who may be carrying it. It can stymie any type of COVID coming. In addition to that, wash your hands. Take a few seconds to wash your hands in between the fingers. Definitely, every check. Hand sanitizer. Use the hand sanitizer. Because with the second wave coming,
not too much though.
Not too much though, but use your hand sanitizer.
Yeah, if you wash your hands enough. Yeah.
Right? So don't take it lightly. You already know it's a government mandate with the mask. Use your mask, wash your hands, and as I already alluded to, drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Have vegetables. Eat your vegetables. Eat your protein. Stay off the sodas if you can. If you can, stay off the sodas. Eat more fruits. I got this from my brother Kyle. He's very good, and I still got to come to him for advice. But eat more fruits. Eat fruits with seeds in it. Seeds are nutrients. You want to eat the fruits with the seeds in it. So do that. Water, fruit, vegetables. Get your poultry in if you're not a vegan. Get that balance. But eat those natural. Stay away as much as you can from the processed foods. Supermarkets have what they call a fresh produce section, where they have the lettuce and the vegetables, but they also sell baked chicken. They sell like fried chicken if you want, the poultry that you need. In certain stores, like if you have a Stop and Shop in your area or a shop right in your area, check out that fresh produce section. You can get a full baked chicken for like $6. So budget is a problem.
Exactly.
That fit well within your budget, and you can eat off that for a good 3 days, depending on how many people in the household or what have you. But that's natural foods. It's not processed. It's freshly cooked. Get some vegetarian beans or some vegetables. Heat that up. Get some rice. Put it on the stove. It don't take no more than 20 minutes. Have some pasta.
Exactly.
Complex carbs. Put some, little pasta sauce on there. It can't hurt. Put some pepper on this. Stay away from the salt. If anything, use a little hot sauce if you want flavor. All these things can help.
Or the Himalayan salt. The pink Himalayan salt is good.
I'm about to hand it over to Kyle, and Kyle is going to drop more Jews on your regard. It's my limited knowledge. But these are just the things that I've been incorporating over the past 3 weeks since I've been gone, and Kyle has been holding it down on the Grand Rising Collective. And I wanted to share this with y'all to just emphasize how important your health is, and how important it is to get your rest and your mental stability, especially in this time of uncertainty, confusion, anger, frustration. Very important. Thank you, Kyle, for giving me this opportunity to elaborate and share on this information on why I've been away for so long. And I'll be glad to share more if you have any comments or questions. Kyle, it's over to you in regards to what I shared, if there's anything you want to add.
Oh, man. I mean, brother, you laid it out pretty detailed for our family, the listeners, the newcomers. I mean, again, I'm glad that you took the time to rest, because, as you said, rest is very important. I think we overlooked that definitely pre-COVID, and now people are somewhat have caught up on certain types of rest, hopefully, and they understand how important it was, how tired our bodies actually were, like how exhausted and how spent we were as far as expelling energy throughout the day, taking care of families, going to work, working out, working multiple jobs, stressing over certain things that now don't seem as important as they once were. So you've been able to have the time, because again, you make time for these things, to be able to step away for a minute, even from our platform, to rest and recuperate and really get back and really get in tune with your body, and your health is very, very important. Remember, family, him and I cannot do anything if we don't have the proper rest and the proper health. right? If he has if he literally had $1 million, but he's not able to get out of bed and to be able to assess where his sickness is coming from, then $1 million is useless unless he can use that million or whatever, how much money he has or whatever resource he has to help him get better holistically, meaning mind, body, spirit, and soul. Like that. That's what it is. Because a lot of times people think, oh, money's going to solve all their problems, or they think the job is going to solve all their problems, or they think that nice item that they bought is going to solve all their problems, and it's just not. It's not. And what he was saying, family, with the meditation and the prayer, because all really meditation is it is kind of some form of prayer in a sense, if you want to look at it like that. And I looked up meditation. Zen is the name, Zen. Some of you have heard of it, Zen. But Zen is the state of calm attentiveness, right? Zen is the state of calm attentiveness, meaning you're almost like a sleep state, but you're very in tune to what's going on around you. You're still alert. So you're calm, but you're alert. And that puts you in a very stable, very sound mind, body, and spirit type of physical and mental and emotional, what they call homeostasis. That's a medical term. Homeostasis means your body's in working order. You are not in perfect working condition, but your body is working in accordance to all the intricacies that it's supposed to. So for you to be in Zen, some of you all are in Zen in different places. Like Kayode may have like sat in a corner and did the hum, he may have did that. I don't know. But there's a book that I read because I like to, as you all family, I like to run and work out. There's a book called Zen and the Art of Running. So even when you're doing certain things, you can be in a state of Zen, right? It may be you working on building something, like building a house. You may be working on an important project, like a book report of some sort. You may be driving, like some people use driving as a form of some like mini therapy, right? You may be walking on a trail. You may be painting a house. You may be cooking some food. Those states where you're kind of just on autopilot, but you're very attentive, you're calm, you're focused. Those are all parts of Zen too, if you're aware of it, right? And you can use it to your benefit. So you don't always have to sit by yourself in a corner in a quiet place. It's not just about not having, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm trying not to have any thought, I'm trying to clear my mind. No, sometimes your mind is going to run, and Zen helps you to deal with those thoughts and emotions that come your way. It's not to excuse them, to say like that, to put them to the side like they're not there. They are actually there to help you recognize that's something that is on your mind, and whether you're going to hold on to that or you're going to process it and or let it go if need be, right? So there's stages in it, right? I meditate as well, but there are stages in which you have thoughts that come to you where they're running in your mind, and you deal with them there. And it's not to say you're going to get rid of them or you're going to come to some sort of solution or peace with that in that one session. It may take multiple sessions. It may take that one. But it's important for you, for your psyche, for your, again, mental health and wellness, to be able to do these things so that you can have a better quality of life. Kayode also talked about food and drink, things that we consume that hopefully give you life. If you're eating dead things, you're going to get dead energy. That's just simple science. So you want to eat things that are alive. Hence why he said that I mentioned eat things with seeds. Seeds create other life, right? Why would you eat why would you eat a fruit that doesn't have any seeds? That's going against why the fruit was created. If you're eating something that normally does recreate itself, but now can't recreate itself, then why would you eat that? Well, you're eating that because like, oh, seeds are getting in my way. I hate the seeds. The seeds take away from the fruit I'm eating. No, the seeds put into the fruit you're eating, because without those seeds, you wouldn't have the fruit. How would it grow? Okay. So even if some fruits, now this is hardcore. Some people can eat the seeds. You can eat the seeds in some places, right? And sometimes. But that's for the hardcore folks. But again, eat foods that have water base. Drink water mostly if you can. And again, you can have the fried chicken. You can have the filet mignon if you want it. You just can't have it every day, family. That's all we're saying. You just can't have it every day. And if you eat that, you're gonna have to hydrate your body. There's certain ways to go about that, but you just need to get more water. Whatever water you're drinking right now, double it. So let's say if you're drinking, like maybe 4 glasses of water a day, go to 8 if you can. Try to hit 8 every day, right? You're like, damn, that's a lot of water. Yeah, that's a lot of water because trust me, your body's gonna soak it up. Initially, your body's gonna urinate it out. Let's be real. Let's be honest. So some of that you'll be running to the bathroom a little bit. But unless you have a job or unless you have responsibilities that are calling on you to be at certain places at certain times, then you just have to go to the bathroom. Your body's saying, look, I need to cleanse. I need to get these viruses out. Viruses can viruses can definitely procreate in a dehydrated body because they're attached to whatever molecules or whatever that's in. I don't know the exact science, but if you're dehydrated, viruses breed in that. But if you're hydrated, it's constantly flushing, it's constantly recycling your system. So it's like a toilet. If the toilet don't flush, then that stuff is going to stay in there. It's going to stink up the house. Same way with your body. If you don't have no water constantly flowing through, which is going to help your blood circulate, which is going to help your organs and tissues work, which is going to help that stuff move out of your system. So again, these are just basic things that we're talking about as far as the power of meditation and the power of getting back to you and being in tune with self so you can do great things out here.
I want to add to that real brief, Kyle. I want to add to sometimes folding clothes provide that Zen type feeling, right? Sometimes doing dishes provides that. I mean, actually doing it, not using the dishwasher. I mean, actually soaking the plate
and
wash using the suds. The suds in and of itself has a type of subliminal comfort. And I say these in particular because these two particular things is what gives me Zen. I've noticed even before I was practicing meditation, when I would fold clothes, there was a certain piece that, it was like everything else was closed off because I was folding the clothes. The clothes in and of itself, the scent, right? Whatever detergent or laundry that you use, or the what do you call those static sheets, static guard sheets, that has those scents and stuff
exactly.
too. All these things play a part with your psyche. It gives you that sense, of being in the field of roses, or anything like that takes you away. The folding of the clothes, methodical. These are also things I wanted to add in regards to the Zen type thing. Like you said, it doesn't have to be sitting in the corner like, and no, I don't sit in the corner. Or I didn't sit in the corner and be like, for like 20 minutes. No.
Floating in the corner?
No, I did sit in the chair. And I made sure that my limbs were stretched. So there was no bending. Okay. So there was no cutting off of circulation. It was a free flow, like a what do they call it? What do they call it? Feng shui type, free flow of energy.
Yeah, feng shui.
Feng shui. So I sat. It was a free flow, like when massage therapists, when they massage you, they the massage, right? And they do this specifically because that's a release of the tension through your fingers. Right. It's a release of the tension through your toes. So that's why they do that push like that. So there's a lot to it,
right?
With regards to the massage and the free flow of energy and the meditation. It's definitely something that if you do your research and look into, could definitely benefit you. But we don't know because we didn't take the time to look into that. So thank you, brother. Meditation. When you want that, all right,
indeed.
All right. So the other thing that I did on my so-called hiatus. By the way, I haven't taken a vacation in over 10 years, just so you know. I told Kyle this, so Kyle knows.
I take a long time.
And even before that, I'm not gonna get too personal, but even before that, I was on I had a significant other, and we went on vacation, but that wasn't even a vacation.
Wow.
There's a whole bunch of drama with that. So it was longer than that. But anyway, it was a physical vacation where I was in a different, I was different state, different continent, stuff like that, Caribbean or what have you. But it was still stressful because of the person that I was with. So we could have another topic on that, which we are. And I want to interject this real quick. Keep in mind, we have not forgot about the relationship series we're going to do. We're still going to do the relationship series. We have our contact, Rochelle, Shelly, which you've seen on our previous day. So we're going to be resuming that, but because of the hiatus and stuff, that was the break. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about relationships, co-parenting, and the stress that's involved in that. So be ready for that. But
get ready for that.
Definitely. And that's a woman perspective. I know you're tired of seeing just us dudes share our personalities as I have.
They don't mind. They don't mind. It's us. They're familiar. They know what's good.
That's right. That's right.
They know what we are. You know,
all right, so,
family, you know what we do.
That's cool. I represent. All right, so the next thing that I did, and I was talking with Kyle about this, and Kyle said, see, that's why, Kay, we should do a podcast right now, man, because you dropping some jewels. So the thing that Kyle was talking about in regards to that was, and this is very important to everybody, and it's the energy of money. Money is energy. And I don't want to, I'm going to try and touch on certain topics, but I want Kyle to come in and really share with that. All right, so here's how it basically works. On my break, I was thinking of ways of how to generate money. Now, here's the thing. Money has had a psychological negative connotation, especially us of color, especially with POC, people of color, Black and Hispanic. Now you have to ask yourself why. Why? Why do we have a negative reaction when it comes to money? Well, I'll tell you one, right? Real quick, you go to church. This is a universal thing. So me growing up in the Baptist church, there were the offering that ran around the church, right? So you had the church offering, the offering plate, right? That wasn't enough. So you had a building fund, you had the tithes and the offerings, then you got the building fund offerings, then you got the guest speaker offerings, and then you got the chicken dinner and the cupcake offerings, right? So obviously you tend to think if God is an all-knowing God, according to certain people's beliefs, and he's omnipotent, almighty, why are these people asking for money or whatever? Negative comment start of indoctrination that put us people of color at a disadvantage. Whereas our viewpoint of money is negative, right? Or when we do come into money, we don't know how to manage it, right? And because we haven't had money, we squander it. Instead of pooling our resources, right? And coming together and helping build businesses, right? Build think tanks, right? Build resources for our community to heal. No, instead we take that money and we buy cars and we buy purses and and there's nothing wrong with that. I know I'm coming out like, nah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying, Kyle, I'm gonna cut it off for you in a sec. I just
this family. He's not saying that that's like totally harmful and wrong. All right, just want to put a little disclaimer. I want to interject quickly. He's not saying any of those things are completely wrong, but hear him out. Hear him out.
Thank you. Right. So there's nothing wrong with that, but there's an imbalance when the money that you're investing in these Fortune 500 companies do not reinvest that money into your culture or your community and put you in a situation where you're living paycheck to paycheck, put you in a situation now where there's a risk in New York where there's going to be an eviction crisis because you can't pay your rent, right? Put you in a position where you got to go from job to job or in a job that's been outsourced to another country or continent such as India, and you find yourself unemployed or unemployable, right? So you got to think about that, right? So if you're adverse to money and you think money isn't good, but yet the reality is you need money to survive, what kind of position does that
Right.
put you in? It puts you in an internal conflict position where you're caught in this maze. And I'm not going to get into all those details. We could definitely do another on that more in depth, Kyle and myself. But I just wanted to plant that seed right there in regards to money. So over the break, what I've learned is that money is energy. And Kyle broke it down, whereas money is currency. And when you think about currency, you think about current. When you think about current, you think about radio waves or frequencies, things of that nature. So we as people of color in the community are on the wrong frequency. We are on a destructive frequency that has been programmed and indoctrinated in us. And I'll give you two main examples through major outlets that has done a very effective job on keeping us in that frequency or that currency.
Yes.
And that frequency, two of them, there may be more, but I'm just going to touch on two. One frequency is the media, such as music. So if you notice as a child, when they're growing up and they're listening to this music on that frequency, they tend to emulate that frequency, which is the behavior that you see in our neighborhoods as it relates to young brothers and young sisters having babies out of wedlock, on welfare, struggling, baby mamas, the whole nine. And you also see it migrate into now where you have these women doing what's called a level up. Whereas there's this big thing now on social media. Oh, I'm about to get into it now, but I'm not going to get into it too deep, Kyle. I'm going to try and keep it. There's this thing now called OnlyFans. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Okay. Oh, now. Oh, now.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And I'm speaking in reference to the women on this one, right? OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
So you have young ladies who are opening and to each his own, right? Again, Cal, we got to use a disclaimer. I ain't saying this.
Disclaimer. Hear him out. Hear him out.
Hear me out.
Hear
me out. I'm not saying
he's dropping. Hear him out.
Just hear me out.
Only
right? But OnlyFans, and if some of you haven't heard of it, good for you. But those of you who have know what I'm talking about. And the challenge of it is, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, is you have a lot of these young ladies, as I mentioned before, the frequencies and the money. OnlyFans is it's kind of like Patreon, right? But it's Patreon for it's a version of Patreon, but for exclusive content. Now, that's not to say OnlyFans, and let me just get to that point. So what a lot of young ladies are doing, and not even young ladies, women in general are doing, is they're opening up OnlyFans accounts and they're revealing their private parts. And they're showing pictures and producing video that is not fit for YouTube or regular TV. It's more like it's more like X-rated content, just to be blunt, just to be direct. That's all it is. There's another version of a Playboy magazine or Playgirl magazine, and there are men that do it too. Not only women, but there are men that do it too. Now, I'm not going to stay on that topic too long. I just wanted to see and let Cal touch on it. But the reason why I'm saying it is because what you women do not realize, men too, is that once you put that out on the internet, it's there forever. You're using that as a way to generate income on that frequency or that currency, but you don't realize the long-lasting effects that it's going to have on your life. That's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And the only reason why you're doing that, because that's all you know, and the reason why that's all you know, because you're on that frequency. You're on that currency.
Yes.
So what I've learned over my time is you need to change the frequency. There's a way to do that. So part of that is understanding that money is all around you. Money is all around us. And we've been indoctrinated to be adverse towards money, where we think because of not Christianity, but because of religion, they say money is the root of all evil. And I'm a cut through these little days that aren't true. That's a lie. A lie from the pit of hell. Money is not the root of all evil. In fact, God, or truly from you do your research, prosperity is a blessing. Poverty is a curse. So money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil.
Right.
It's putting money
Yeah.
ahead of God. It's putting money ahead of your family. It's putting money ahead of yourself, whereas you will sell yourself, your integrity and your character for money. That's the evil part. Money in and of itself is just a arbitrary thing. It's nothing. It's pretty much it's a note. It's a promissory note. That's all it is. It's what we do for it that causes the problem, or who you hurt to get it. So I'm saying all that to say,
Right.
as Kyle taught me, is money is frequency, money is currency. Realize that money is all around you. Realize to accept prosperity, which you can in what you do naturally, right? And we'll talk about that in length. But what I learned is understand this simple concept. I'll hand it over to Kyle and do research on it. Money is currency. It's all around you. You have access to it. There is no lack of money. There is no shortage of money. Don't believe it. It's not. It's just a matter of how you relate to it. It's just a matter of seeing opportunities. Once you see those opportunities and you tap your natural skill set, inherent ability to that opportunity, and you realize and learn about financial management and tie a rate to your value, which is your hourly wage. That means whatever you do, whatever hour you invest in, understand what you're worth. What you're worth.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna close it out, Cal, real quick. When you go to a job, they pay you a salary. You get an annual, you get a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly salary. If you break that down, net after taxes and medical and dental, you'll find out that you probably get paid whatever, $30 an hour, what have you, the minimum wage.
Right, that gross versus that net.
Gross versus net, right? So the minimum wage in New York is $10 an hour minimum wage. You can expand your thought process and expand your mind. That's what the government says as a minimum wage you're worth. So if you tie in and realize what your inherent skill set is, you recognize an opportunity, you become a quote unquote contractor or a consultant in an area that you're a specialist in, that you're passionate about, and you tie a rate to that. The government says the minimum wage is $15 an hour, but for this service that I'm providing that lines up with my skill set, I'm valuable, or I'm worth $25 or $30 an hour. You have just changed the frequency and currency that you're on, making yourself accessible and available to the money that's out here, which is not in shortage. I'm sorry, Kyle. I just had to drop that on and what I learned in research. Drop your knowledge on the currency, which you share me, or your thought processes on the value of money. One final note also, understand that money is a bridge. Money is not a destination. Money is a bridge, and money is a bridge to what we all want, and that's freedom and security. Money helps you get there, but that's your destination. It's not money, which a lot of people are doing. They're looking at money, and that's why they're selling themselves for the money. That's not really what it is, whether we realize it or not. You want money so that way you can be free. You want money so that way you can be secure and safe. And you have to understand those key differences. Yeah, Cal.
Ooh. See what happens, family, when you meditate, when you take a break, you get into the meditation, how it just flows out. I mean, the brother went for like 7 minutes straight, didn't take any breaths. I mean, like whatever deep meditative state that this brother was in, he coming out firing, all guns ready, right? So I'm telling you all, right, what he just said, I'm not gonna say that much more. But like he said, family, it is a currency. Like we talk about currency as far as money, it's also a currency in reference of how you value yourself. Money, there's no amount of money in the world that could really pay you what you're really worth, to be honest with you. A salary is a fixed compensation. Keyword fixed, meaning that, like Kayode was saying, the market has determined whatever skill or whatever occupation that you do on a daily basis. This is how much you're worth to us for what value you bring to the company. Now, again, in reference of the metrics that the company measures you with, that is debatable, right? But if you know that other people are doing more than what you're doing with in less time or with more efficiency, then that's why they're getting paid more. That's why they're getting compensated more. Whatever value you offer to the market is what you will be compensated for. If you do what everyone else is doing, then you're going to get what everyone else is getting. Period. So you're going to have to find something that is unique and that is relevant to your audience, to your employer, and to your customers. That's just what it is. And you already have to have the mindset. Now, again, people talk about money a lot. Money, you know, for the love of money. I gotta get the money, gotta get the dough, gotta make the cheddar, you know. And it's funny how money's always associated with food items: cheddar, guac, cabbage, lettuce, fetty, pancakes, stacking cake. You know, it's interesting, right? Yeah, dough. It's interesting. But I mean, people making money eating food. I don't know. But anyway, you gotta have the mindset. You must have the mindset already that you're valuable. Money is only a tool. It's only a tool, right? As much as I like money, I like money just as just as the next person does. But I like what I can do with it. I can help my family. I can help myself. I can do more things with it. So again, it's about what do you plan on doing with it? Are you planning on doing something that's beneficial, not just for you, but for other people in your circle who care about you and you care about them? Or are you just gonna hoard it? Because the money in itself has no power. It is what you do with that money. That currency is what it is. And if your current mind is not already thinking of value, how you are of value and how you value yourself, value your body, value your mind, value your energy, value your skill, then someone's gonna come around and try to exploit that. They're gonna already try to exploit you anyway. So in reference of the OnlyFans site, you know, and this is no diss and this is no shade on any of the women or men who are on there, but apparently they're in a space where they feel like this is going to have them cash in on a little money to help keep their bills on or keep the lights on or pay that house note or pay that car note. I don't know. I'm not here to judge anyone. But what I am saying is if these individuals are OnlyFans and they think this is the only way they can go about, then they have a poverty mindset, is what I'm telling you. Somebody told them wrong. Somebody miseducated them. Somebody misled them to think that their body is the only thing that they can sell or promote that will actually get them to be. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. They have much more skills that they don't realize that they've been given from the divine that will have them be able to go and do the things that they want to do and need to do for their lives and the people that they care about. But apparently this is the stage that they're in right now, and hopefully that they learn a lot from this, right? Hopefully they learn a lot from this. And again, this is no shade, right? This is definitely no shade, because this is not saying these are bad people. Yeah, it's not saying these are bad people, but again, if they're going into that thinking that's the only way, then they've been misled, they've been miseducated, and their value of themselves is not as high as it could be. Especially when we talk about people of color, Black people, African Americans, Latinos, Hispanics, that whole diaspora, right? So again, family, we talk about the currency. Yes, money is just a tool to get you there. But if you don't have the mindset, what they say, a fool and his money shall soon part. Whoa. They say that most. Check this out, family. Check this out. Now, I'm not giving you exact numbers, but these are kind of like rounded numbers, right? Projections. They said that close to about, I know it's definitely over 47%. Over 47%, 48% of people who win the lottery end up being broken within 5 years. You know why? Because they don't have the mindset of a rich person. They don't have a wealthy mindset. They don't have an abundant mindset. They have a poverty mindset. And they're spending it and spending it and spending it. And again, it may be on other people in their family trying to help. But because they don't have any boundaries, because again, it goes back to value, right? I love you, and I know you love me, but you're using that to exploit me in order for help me pay your bills and pay these things. And then when I don't have any money, when I can't help you out anymore, then you know where to be found. But when I had all the money, you are all the way around. And like Kayode is saying, right? It is only a bridge to security and freedom. The bridge that the destination for security and freedom comes where? Comes from here, right? Once you know that, like, hey, I may not have $1 million, but what can you say? We gonna be all right. You know, that's what he's talking about. We gonna be all right. Freedom. Somebody can't give you freedom. They can release you from bondage. They can't give you freedom. You give yourself freedom, right? You give yourself freedom. Harriet gave herself freedom. Harriet Tubman, Sister Harriet, all praise due to the ancestor. She gave herself her own freedom. Why? Because she was free up here. They freed her body, but they could never get her mind. Her mind was already free. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we're saying, family. Get your freedom, get your security, but it comes from here.
Yo, you just stay tuned to Grand Rise Collective. This brother Kyle's dropping the knowledge like this. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. You know what the real authentic? Right here. Right here.
Right, you too.
Yo,
that's why we do it.
That, yo, if y'all don't know, you're missing out. Yo, you better share this joint. Y'all don't get value, share, because somebody else is gonna get value from this. Because y'all know what you deserve. Y'all know that joint is tight. Y'all know it. All right. So, woo! All right, I'm getting too excited. Let me calm down. All right, so now I know y'all were listening to my brother Kyle in my absence, and brother Kyle brought up at the time, Kyle, if I'm not mistaken, you talked about the situation with Breonna Taylor, and yes. it was a big thing coming up, and it was like anticipation for justice being served for Breonna Taylor. Now, from what I understand from an article that I just, that I was looking at, and doing my research, it said, where is it at? It was talking about how, where is that? Culture right here. It was talking about how there's more justice. What did it say? It said, Breonna's neighbor's walls got more justice than her death. So because of, I guess, and elaborate, Kyle, because I'm trying not to be too long-winded with this. Apparently, from what I understand, the only justice that's being handed out has to do with or in relation to some inanimate object, such as, I guess, the walls or something was shot or something like that. That's what they're focusing on. Not the fact that Breonna was unjustly murdered.
Yes.
Right? In her apartment, sleep.
In her apartment.
Sleep.
Asleep, family. Sleeping.
No weapons. Defenseless. Right? But from what I understand, the court or the justice system is focused more on the neighbor's walls being shot. And I couldn't be informed that actual justice given to Breonna Taylor. Now, family, all of you are listening, forgive me. I didn't have time to really thoroughly look at the article and do a thorough research. But for what I'm seeing, Black women, won't stop seeking justice for Breonna Taylor because of the fact that her murderers aren't being held accountable for her death, but instead, to some extent, from what I understand, they're being held accountable for the neighbor's walls being shot or the disturbing the peace of that nature. So, what are your thoughts on that? Well, before we end that, I don't know how I feel about that, family. And this is about solutions. We're trying to give solution to that. And I think it ties into what we were talking about before, real quick, before I hand it over to Kyle. Meditation. I would say, in addition to meditation, prayer. I know prayer, everybody like prayer don't work. Some of you are atheists, don't believe in God or whatever. But just think for a minute. You're on this earth and you got to live here unless you take your own life. And if you take your own life, there's no coming back. And from what I understand, you didn't give yourself life. So you don't have a right to take it. And although your life might be messed up, and I can't, God forbid. And I pray for anybody who feels that their life is so messed up that their only option they feel is to take their own life. I pray for you. That's not at all good. But one of the things that I had a conversation with, I think with Kyle or one, family member, whatever, is this. Here's a fact. You didn't bring yourself here. You didn't create yourself. So you don't have a right to take your life because you didn't give it. So you can't take something you didn't give yourself. One. Number two, you don't. That's a final decision. There's no coming back from that. So that's two.
Yeah.
Number three, according to the Creator, whether you want to believe or acknowledge it exists or not or what have you, this same Creator created the heavens, the moons, the stars, the sun. Yes. And think of how organized and consistent that is. There's never been a day on this earth and all of mankind that we know of during this creation that the earth ever stopped rotating or the sun ever failed to rise and set, that we never lost oxygen, right? We never lost oxygen. So whoever created this realm that we live in is organized and structured. If they're organized and structured, they created this realm that we live in, they also created you. And if they created you in this book, the Bible, that's been here in its various forms, I'm not going into the Quran and all that. Because I know they're going to hit me with that.
Right.
Right. So I'm not getting into semantics. I'm just saying in general, this concept. If in that book, the oldest book known to man, if it says that to take your own life is a sin, to the extent that you might not go to heaven, I would seriously think about before taking my life. Final note is any of you out there who are viewing this, who are in that state, and we're talking about, and I'm tying this all to Breonna Taylor as well, and I'm going to tell you how it ties in. But all of you who may be in that state of wanting to take your own life, I implore you from the bottom of my heart to stop and think and take yourself out of the equation. And like Kyle says, look for help. There's help out there. There are therapists out there. Again, you got to do your research. Not all therapists is for everybody. True, granted. Right. Right. Research, read. But here's this. If you just distract yourself long enough to engage in that process of finding a therapist that can help you, that prolongs your life. So that way you don't make a decision that you can't come back from. At least you're trying something to help your life become bearable. Do that.
Yes.
The therapist thing isn't your cup of tea, or you don't have the wherewithal to do that. There are suicide hotline numbers that you can call.
Yes.
You never know who might be on the other end of that line that may be able to say one word or give one gesture that'll help you maintain enough not to take your life. So I know it's kind of a tangent that I went on, but how it ties into Breonna Taylor is those of you who feel the injustice in this society, whereas Breonna Taylor was defenseless in her own home, in her own bed.
With her boyfriend.
And shot and killed. And even in that state, her life was not valued. You are of the same ethnicity and feel your life is not valued. This is what I'm trying to share with you. So that way, this stuff doesn't mess with your head where you feel like life is worthless. It's not worthless. It's valuable. Trust me, you were born for a purpose. And then final note, Kyle, because I know I'm going long-winded in here. This is a little deep, but I'm just going to, try my best and let Kyle just run with it. And I'm not trying to get too graphic, but I just want to paint this point. The process of birth deals with a male and a female. And it's the male whose seed is enter into a woman. That seed is not just one seed or sperm, as it were. It's thousands of them. You are here on this earth, which means you beat out thousands of other sperm to get to the egg. Not only did you get to the egg, you had to break through to get into the egg. So not only did you outrun or outpace thousands of other sperm, you also had to break within that egg to exist here on this earth. That says a lot about what you are capable of. So if you just think about all this stuff that I shared with you, especially that, please think about that and contemplate whether it's a good decision to take your own life. So I said all that, Kyle, to tie into Breonna Taylor and how it affects us with George Floyd, how it affects us with Tamir Rice, how it affects us all of the POC Black lives that were killed unjustly and defenseless, and the kind of psyche that must have on us as a culture living in this society where this is still going on today. So that's what I wanted to interject on that in regards to that being a current event, and providing some tangible solutions, right? It wasn't step 1, step 2, step 3, but it was more encouraging to give those of us who are going through mental challenges and might not be able to verbalize it, maybe holding it in, to at least hear that, to give them some encouragement, so that way they can hold on just long enough to experience a better life, and not just experience a better life, but change other people's lives as well, to make this society a better place and wake up the world to stop this injustice from happening. Go ahead, Kyle, all you.
Whew. I mean, listen, family, the brother just laid it down, like he went into the whole dynamic of the birthing and the sperm and the egg. I mean, is this what meditation does, family? I think this is what it does. It has you go just deep. You know,
I was like this before that, man. Stop that. I was like this before that.
You were, but I mean, he talking about the sperm and the egg. I'm like, whoa, like, wow, man. He would, hey, brother, hey, man, whatever meditation you doing, brother, let me know so I can start getting deep into, so I can just, get into that deep zone that you're in right now. Because, the family, what he's dropping is very, very, very valid. Whether you agree or disagree, whether you're Christian or you're not, whether you read the Bible or you don't. But some of the stuff that he's pulling from is just universal things that the Bible and other religious books are talking about. And again, these are things, we're not here to push anything on anyone, but what he's saying is just that you have value. Actually, this month that we're in right now, which we're about to come out of, September, is Suicide Month. So in reference of suicide rates have been going up since COVID happened. Suicide rates have been going up, right? Because people are emotionally scarred. They're traumatized, right? With all this stuff going on, Breonna Taylor in the bed with her boyfriend shot to death. Tatiana Jefferson, people forget about her. Tatiana Jefferson in Texas, she got shot through her house, right? Because they thought her house was like a drug house or some craziness, but they shot her in her own home. Another sister, Sandra Bland, she wasn't even at home. She was arrested on some bogus interaction with the police officers, and then she was killed. Then she was killed in her cell, or they said that she committed suicide in a cell. We're still not sure about that, right? But the matter of fact is that we are being assaulted, and we've been being assaulted, and it hasn't gone away. But there's also the fact that people are facing emotional and sometimes physical trauma during this COVID. Domestic abuse has went up. Again, emotional trauma, and for not being able to go outside or not being able to feel like you're safe when going outside. Those anxiety and fears and depressions have gone up. So when we talk about, again, being of value, go seek some help. Do what they say. Do not suffer in silence. Again, do not suffer in silence. There are people that can help. There is help out there, free help. right? So if you're worried about, oh, I don't want people to know, no one will know unless you want them to know, right? Or the right people should know for sure. I don't have enough money, money. I don't have insurance. You don't need insurance. All you need to call the hotline. It's free, right? It's free. Even some counselors, it's free, right? It's free. Your life is worth more than a few dollars, right? But even though you don't have to pay, it's free. It's free. So again, just be mindful, and again, take a step out of yourself and realize that, like you said, your life does have value. You do have purpose. Breonna Taylor had purpose. Sandra Bland had purpose. Tatiana Jefferson had purpose, but it was snuffed out by murderous police officers that chose to make the wrong decision and take someone's life unjustly. And that's why we have the marches going on and the protests. I don't even call them riots; they're protests in Louisville, Kentucky right now, right? And in other places that are unforgiving in reference of Breonna Taylor's legacy and many other men and women who have suffered the same casualty underneath bogus law enforcement and bogus unjust laws that help people who murder others unjustly to get away. Yes, they gave Breonna Taylor's family a couple of $1 million settlement. That's good. Again, that's good, but only to the effect that Breonna Taylor's family used that to help them to not only pay some of the bills that they have and have some type of cushion as far as their lifestyle. But again, you can't pay anyone all the money in the world if the person that they love has been murdered unjustly, whether it be by a vigilante, whether it be police officers or some other person. Until that person is brought in and convicted for what they have done heinously, no amount of money will ever supplement that person's life. Never, right? And only way that we can let that go to peace to some degree is if those police officers, which they weren't up to this point, have been arrested and convicted of the murder of Miss Taylor. So when we talk about value and valuing your life, that's what we talk about. The fact that people value their own lives and value humanity enough to be able to march and protest, not riot, not cause commotion unjustly, not tear shit up, excuse my language. No, come out in the streets, Black folks, white folks, Latino folks, to say this is wrong. This is just humanly, fundamentally wrong.
Go ahead, brother. See, man, yo, anybody not listening to this, Kyle? I feel sorry for them, brother. You drop it, I'm telling you, dropping some, bro. Y'all can't.
Hey,
anyway,
hey, brother.
I'm gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. Final topic that I wanted to talk about is the thoughts on this upcoming election. Real brief, major, but we're in the election cycle now. You've been seeing the freaking advertisements on TV. I be tuning them out because I get so tired of them joints. But I want to dive into this, Kyle, because I think it's important, right? And that is those, and I'm included too. With apathy towards the election, right? Whereas, come on, man, why vote? We talked about this with Eric, right? Didn't we talk with Eric before?
Right.
So I want us to revisit it and bring it up in a different way, maybe. And maybe my meditation, I could turn it in a different way now with my meditation. Maybe it'd be more impact or make it more. But I want to touch on that real quick. And I think Kyle brought it up and Eric brought it up as well. For those of you,
Representative Allen,
for those of us who think that the going to vote is a waste of time, I want you to think about something. Because I had to think about this as well. And It's resonating more and more with me as I think about it. First, the fact is it's an imperfect system. Granted, I give you that.
Yeah,
we got that's fair. It's an imperfect system. Got it.
definitely.
Democrats and Republicans are two different sides of the same coin. I give you that too, right? The Republicans are no different than the Democrats. Got you. Understood. But think about this. Two things. If the election cycle, or if the election was a farce, as it were, or null and void, irrelevant, that's the word, key word. If the voting system or the election process was irrelevant, I want you to think about this. Why are people fighting so hard to stop us from voting?
Exactly.
Why did Trump try to remove mailboxes or stop the post or cut the funding for the post office for mail-in voting? If voting wasn't important, if voting was irrelevant, why would that make a difference? Why would they go to that extent to prevent people from voting? People who they think are not going to vote for, quote unquote, the Republican Party. Grant, the Democratic Party is, no better than the Republican Party. Got you. But the political cycle in and of itself is what makes this company run. That's a fact. All we have to do as people of color or as a community is support those in our community or those who support our efforts and speak for us and get them in that election. Right now, it doesn't feel like it's benefiting us because the people who are running for office or in the political system don't represent us. But the system in and of itself, works. We just got to get the people who are going to speak for us. So I think it's key to make that distinction, understanding right there. The political system in and of itself works. It's just that there are wrong people in there or people who don't represent us. And we need to put our efforts in getting people who represent us to work with the system, because if the system wasn't effective, then you wouldn't have such venom or such effort trying to stymie the vote, because they know the process works. And I'm going to add another thing to it. People died, our ancestors in our culture died to vote. What does that mean? What does that mean? Did they kill themselves? They didn't kill themselves.
Right.
People killed them because they were fighting for the right to vote. Let that sink in and think. So when you become apathetic to the voting process, yeah, I give it to you. Right now, it sucks. Everybody in office is looking out for themselves or for their so-called group or what have you. What we have to do as African Americans, people of color, is from the ground up. I think Alvin talked about that too. Was Alvin Singh? We had a conversation.
Right? Episode. Yep. Alvin Singh episode. Go back and look at that, family.
Yeah, and Kyle is he's going to be more specific when I end this and give it over. But look about, we have to start from the ground up. We got to start locally. And we talked about this before. And I think start locally. Those in our neighborhood. So that way we can build, and I talked about this too, we can build our neighborhood into a community. And then once we build our community, we can get local officials in the White House, meaning they go through the Senate, they go to the Congress, they go to assembly people, congressmen, congresspeople, get them on that track. So that way, when it comes to this 4-year mark and we're voting for a president, we'll have someone in there who not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. So think about that as you become apathetic to this whole voting process and the whole political system. That's what I wanted to talk about in regard to this upcoming election cycle, Kyle. What you got?
Yes, sir. No, that's good. That's good. No, because this voting, is a part of that process. And like you said, our ancestors did catch, wreck, casualties, mortality, died for the right to vote. Now, they also died for other things too, because I want to make that clear to family as well. That was the only thing they got killed for. They got killed for just being black too. You know what I'm saying? Just for existing, just for not staying in their place, as they call it, and staying in a place to be subservient, to be subhuman, to not have rights. You're not a human being. You're lower than my dog, my pet dog right here. We don't want you to have rights for what? We own you. So when black folks begin to step, quote unquote, step out of place, out of their place of being enslaved, because we were never slaves, we were enslaved, right? To call yourself a slave is to be defeated. You were enslaved, you were imprisoned, right? You were a casualty, a prisoner of war, okay? So in reference of that dynamic, they didn't want you to vote because they said, well, of course you're going to vote against our self-interest because we're the people that are enslaving you. So why would we want you to vote? So it ties into now, and I'm speaking of myself too. I haven't voted in every election. I have not. And part of that apathy is coming from the fact that the things that we go through, just like we talked about with Breonna Taylor, it seems like everything we seem to do, we take 5 steps forward and we take 3 steps back or 4 steps back in this country. And a lot of that has to do with the policies and the people in these political power positions that make decisions. And most of these people are white, racist males or highly capitalist, white capitalist males, right? People talk about the president. Oh, the president is a racist. Oh, no, the president is a capitalist. Like, those are exclusive. You can be both. You can be a racist and a capitalist. And he's both. He's both, right? So when we talk about the political process, right, my thing is, I'm not saying voting is the end all to be all, because it's not. I hate to break it to you, family, but it isn't. And that's the thing I had to come to terms with. But is it a part of the process to get to what we want to? I think so. I believe so. Because the fact of the matter is, not a lot of us are a part of the political process, but yet we stand in line for things that don't really matter in the whole scheme of things. We stand in line for exclusive shoes. We stand in line to go to the movies. We stand in line for a concert or a show, which I like all these things. But how am I going to stand in line for that? But I'm not going to stand in line that for something that's really going to have an effect on me and my family for years to come. And right now, where I go to school, where my children go to school, or my family goes to school, where we live, how much taxes we pay on the property that we own, how much taxes and or fees will I have to pay for certain things that I buy. That's direct effect on my quality of life and living. So even though I'm not totally in agreement with a lot of the political affiliates and policymakers, but so what? I'm not in agreement with a lot of things that happen in the NBA. But what happens? We still watch it, don't we? We still participate, don't we? So what I'm saying is, we got to check ourselves. I'm talking about me included. We got to check ourselves. That's real. Somebody had to check me. And again, I'm not saying voting is the end all to be all. Again, let me restate that. It is not. It is a part of the process. But if you're going to complain all the time, then you might as well get in the game. You might as well get in the game and then change the game collectively. Because you sitting on the sidelines and you talking a lot of garbage, a lot of what should be and what could be, but you're not even going to any of the protests. You're not even involving yourself in any political organizations to be able to be a part of the process of change. But yeah, you want to talk so much about how voting doesn't work. Get off your ass and get to them polls. That's all I'm saying. Let us get off our asses and get to the polls. And then let's talk about how collectively we can change some things in the hood, right? Living in Chicago, the hood, South Side, represent. a lot of people in the South Side, man, got a lot of love for the people on the South Side and all of Chicago. But there's some people on the South Side that jack it up for everybody else. And there's a lot of good, hardworking people and a lot of people who mean well and are doing a lot of politically activism that don't get the shine. And we're going to have one of those people on here in one of the next few episodes. And I'm not going to say who it is because he's a special guest of mine, but he works with youth on the South Side Chicago. He's involved in the communities of South Side Chicago. He's given out food. He spent his time and money to help build up the youth and young people on the South Side Chicago. That's somebody that you need to be admiring. That's somebody whose actions you need to be following to that extent. That's somebody you need to be asking questions about how we can make change in our neighborhoods, in the hood, what we call it. Those people. And we're going to have him on and another friend of mine also from Chicago as well, who does work in the community. So I don't want to hear this, I'm not voting. Because if I don't hear I'm not voting, then what else are you doing then? Right? As soon as you say I'm not voting, what else are you doing to help make real lasting change? Are you running for office? Because there's a young brother from the South Side Chicago as well who's running for office named Jamal Green. Look him up. Running for mayoral candidate. So I can't look. I'm just saying that enough is enough. Okay, get off your ass and let's make some change, some lasting change.
All right, there's the slogan. There it is. That's what we're gonna end on. Get off your ass and get to the polls. Man. Don't take that idea. That's a t-shirt. Get off your ass.
Yeah, don't take idea. That's idea. Yeah, right. Take your booty to the polls. That's somebody else's.
Right.
People who know what I'm talking about. No. Let me say this, right. I just saw a recent ad. This is how serious the polls are. It's called get off your booty and go to the polls. There are some exotic dancers, strippers as they call them in Atlanta, who made a commercial about literally going to vote in this new election. Like how serious it is to vote. If it takes some sisters who are exotic dancers to make a commercial for you to go vote, that shows you how serious it is, family. If these women are taking time from their entertainment field to encourage you to use what because I mean they are talented. They are talented artists. They are, whether you agree with what they do or not, they are talented in what they do. If they're taking time enough to use that talent in order to entice you to go vote, that tells you something. Yes.
There you go. There
it's
you go, family. There you go, family. My brother. I don't know what to say, man. Every time we have these talks, man, I got so much stuff, brother. It's like I gotta unpack stuff, man. That's another
we got time. We got
That's
gotta
why
tune in later.
I think that's why I did it down, took a unplug, because the information I feel that we were sharing, it was just so much to unpack. I couldn't even get to it, man. You know what I mean? It was just overwhelming because it was just, and then the minute I try and start to unpack some of that, we get more information and more information. You know what I mean? Information overload. And it's not just, and this is the thing I want to share with you, family. Again, you got to let us know what you want to talk about, because we could drop some stuff from our perspective. But the information we're sharing, man, this stuff is gold. This stuff is gems. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I learned a lot from these guys. It definitely gives me something to think about. It gives me something to reflect on. And it definitely motivates me. I don't know if you get this, but every time I leave conversation with my brother Kyle, the guests we have on or what have you, I feel a sense of hope and I feel a sense of motivation. It's like food. The information we get is like food. And for some people, they might not get it right now because the content may be too intense or too hard to hear. But it's like a seed that's planted. Grand Rising Collective.
Yes.
Grand Rising. So it's just like planting a seed. So here's something that you could take with you when you look at the Grand Rising Collective channel. The term Grand Rising is what we're doing with the information we're sharing with you is we're planting seeds, right? So now that seed, which is the power of suggestion, has been planted in you through your hearing. what's going to happen is
That's right.
there's going to be another level of watering. And that watering is going to be the confirmation of what you're hearing and what we're sharing as you go through your life. You're going to see some of the stuff we're sharing is going to start to apply to your life. You're going to see it in some way, some shape, or some form. And that's going to be the watering of the seed that we're planting as grand rising. And then the manifestation of the channel itself in its title, grand rising. So once the seed has been planted, done, once you have been watered and you're getting this water from various aspects in your life, then comes the grand rising, which is the growth. I'm saying that to say when you view this channel from that perspective from now on. That the information being shared here is the planting of the seed that's being planted, you're going to experience in your life, where through family, friends, a job, or what have you, it's going to happen. And you're going to be able to remember what you heard in this Grand Rising Collective, and it's going to resonate with you. And it's going to be something that you can refer to that's going to help guide you through whatever that challenge you're facing in, whether it's family, friends, or the job. And at that point is when that growth is going to start. Hence, again, the channel Grand Rising. And as you, as a listener, is listening and other listeners are listening to it, it will become a collective, Grand Rising Collective. So that's the revelation that the Lord just gave me to give some people some concept. And when they watch this, so one final thing, when you watch this channel, what sets us apart from all other channels? Not saying we're better, not saying we're any worse, but this is what we bring. This is what we contribute to the community and helping the community grow, or in other words, grand rise as a collective.
That's it. That's
all right.
I couldn't say it better. Couldn't say it better.
So on that note, my call sign, we're coming at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark like we do, Kyle. We having these tough, good talks, man. We try and make these talks for an hour, 60 minutes. But hey, the information is so good, you know, we gotta keep it going. But to reach me, you can reach me as Kyle did a great job with my handles. Thank you, brother. Again, I take my hat off to you. I appreciate you for holding it down while I had to unplug. But as Kyle mentioned before, the my handles on Instagram and Twitter is Balagoon Logic, BALOGUN LOGIC. On YouTube, it's Kayode Bentley. I have 4 channels: Perspective TV, where I have talks with my pop on there, and I have what's called Candid Advisor, where I give advice on relationships and career development, things of that nature. And I have Kayode Bentley, which is scripture. And then I have 4Ts.org. So go to 4Ts.org to see what we're doing with youth in the inner city and the partnerships that I have going on with the Boys and Girls Club. And then finally, the Grand Rising Collective with my co-host Kyle. We're bringing it to you. We're coming live and in full effect. You know, if you real, you know what's going on. You see what's going on. Yeah. Don't front, don't fake fun. So those are my handles.
Yep. Okay. So thank you, family, for rocking with us. Thank you for allowing us to invade your space for a hot minute and really to support. Really, we love the support. We appreciate the feedback. Definitely subscribe, link, share this. If you think this is powerful, share this with somebody. Even if they don't look at all of it, just share it with them. That fuss is love. That's love right there. That's appreciation. So the things that we're sharing with you all, the people that we're bringing to you all that you may not know about or heard of, powerful people. Just because they're not on TV, just because you don't see them on movies, doesn't make them any less effective. You know, shout out to the brother Chadwick Boseman again for his legacy and the impact he made, not only in film, but just the type of brother and person he was, right? We rock with people like that, right? Those are the people that we want to invite on our platform to be able to share their skills and experiences and perspective on the world and certain topics that we talk about. That's what we do here at Grand Rise Collective. It is the collective where we rise to the occasion and we rise for each other and we help each other rise, right? The seed is planted and we are watering that seed, right? We are watering that seed for the nourishment of the community, You know what I'm saying? Because you put one seed in the ground, you water that bad boy, and then it grows into a tree that produces what? Fruit, not just one fruit, multiple fruit for the community, and that's you all. And we love and appreciate you all, and thank you. So you can reach me at DIX_KYLE on IG, right? That's where you can reach me at. And you can also reach me at KEZ773 on Twitter, right? You can also reach me there, right? Yes, yeah. Oh yeah. So you can definitely reach me there. Okay. So again, extra T in that Twitter, but that's cool. All right. So, but indeed, family, you can reach me on there. You can also reach me on YouTube at Mr. Kyle Dixon, right? And you can also reach us as Grand Rise Collective on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, follow our Facebook group, which a lot of our videos are posted there, and also Grand Rise Collective on YouTube channel as well. We're also working on some things as far as the 1,000 subscribers that we are going for. Again, share this with your family, friends, colleagues, right? And we are going to offer some things for you all to take part of to help support the platform, because we know that you all love what we do and want to provide you with some items that you can take with you to be able to support what we're doing and to keep going. We're not doing this out of money, but we're doing this to give you value. And if you value it, then we just want you to help to keep this going. It takes money, a little money and time for us to do these things. So we're not asking for like you to pay us in that way. We're just saying that we love what we do, and we just want to make sure that we can continue to do this without having to worry about that part of the equation. So in reference to that, family, much love, much respect, and Kayode, do you have anything else to say, my brother?
You covered it.
Okay.
You covered it.
So on that note, check us out on the next episode. We got some major players coming up for you, some heavy hitters, some people from, we got a waiting list, man. They've been waiting, y'all. So tune in, take care, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see y'all next time. And on that note, peace.
Yeah. Baby, yeah. You know, say ready on this. You know I have patience.